Hi, my bookish friends. It is Wednesday and it's time to talk about all things books. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Anika, and today is Wednesday, and I am bringing you a video that you must see. Started this journey December of 2023. I never knew how this was going to affect me in a good way, like helping me become who I am through reading. I love it here. I love the bookish community, all of that. So, y'all, if y'all want to see this video, stay tuned. But as I always state in my videos, if you would like to be a part of my creative team, click on that red subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will not miss any of my uploads. Comment below because I love to hear from you, and give me a thumbs up, y'all, if you enjoy this bookish video. Let's go! So, bookish stars, I wanted to bring on 10 different authors with the 10 books that I love by them. This was very hard for me to do because I wanted to put all of Brittany Cherry books that I've read so far, and I also wanted to bring in Kennedy Ryan books because there were so many books that I really enjoyed by her. But I decided to bring you 10 books by 10 different authors. Some of those authors are very new to me, never read them before. As I stated earlier, I started this journey in December of 2023. And the very first book that I read was by Kennedy Ryan, and I fell in love with her writing. I then went on to read Brittany Cherry books, which was, oh my gosh, she captures so much in her books that I just really love her writing as well. But then I dabbled in some other books and other authors that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed these top 10 books of mine. These may not be your top 10, but these are my top 10. But I wanted to share on my community of my favorite books that I have. So, y'all, let's get to this video because I know y'all ready to see my top 10 books. Okay, y'all. So the very first book that I want to talk about is Christina Lauren book. Y'all, it's about Macy and Elliot. They were teenage, they actually met as teenagers. So, and then of course, you know, as time go on, they basically, Macy stopped really talking to Elliot, honestly. So, but this was a really good book to me. Y'all, look at this cover. I love this cover. But I love the essence of this book, of how Elliot really didn't know why Macy distanced herself, right, from him. And so in this book, it goes back from when they first met to the past and to the present. And that's one thing that I loved about this book, because it gave us, you know, their history. And that was really fascinating to me, to learn about their history and to learn about the things that they thought that happened that really didn't happen, and that how we can really, you know, assume things that's not even true unless we really talk about the things that happen and be open about them. And I think that is the thing that I loved about this dynamic, because it takes us on this journey. But I'm not going to talk too much about the books, but I just want to tell you that this was a really good read. And I talk about it in my other videos, but I wanted to share the books that really touched me in my heart, in my soul. So majority of these are romance book because I am a romance girly, but some of them, I think I only have like one that's not. So Christina Jones Get Schooled was recommended to me by my cousin, and she wanted me to get into audibles because I really wasn't into audibles at first, but I love audibles. It really has helped me. But Getting Schooled, she sent this one to me, and y'all, when I tell you I love this book, it was about Jason and Reese. And Jason was attending the Blakewood State University to finish his degree. And Reese was actually accepted a position as a grad assistant. So that's how they met. But it was so funny. I loved it. I laughed so much in this book, but I just love the dynamics of Reese and Jason. When I say the opposites attract, they are two different people, like the opposite of each other. And that is true statement that opposites sometimes attract. I'm being serious, but I love this book. It was a funny book, but it was an easy read. Honestly, I did not. I listened to some of it on Audible, and I also read the physical copy of the book. But y'all, very good read, easy read, funny read, all of the above. Okay, so the next book is Abby Jimenez and Just for the Summer. Now, I didn't know that this book was a series, but this is my very first book by Abby Jimenez. I did pick up the other book. I think it's Yours Truly and something else, but I did pick up those books. I love the cover of this book, but it's about Emma and what is the other guy's? Justin. So Justin wrote on Rhetoric thread about his relationship, which was so funny because the same thing that he was writing about also Emma was dealing with. So basically what happened in the story was he did write this article, she contacted him, and then it just really, y'all, this love story is amazing to me. I love how two people who had issues, like he had issues with his mom, she has issues from her mom in the past, but how their issues bring them really together. And I love this about this, and I love how Justin took care of Emma. You know, she really did have deep wounds, and was dealing with a whole lot, just like he had these deep wounds as well, but how they come together in love. But honestly, y'all, this was a really good book that meant a whole lot to me. It deals with so many different emotions, but I don't want to give too much about this book. I did have a video about this when I was talking about my books for, I guess, the month or whatever. I can't remember if I did it from my reading journal perspective or just was just talking about this book. But y'all, this is one of the books that you should get. I don't want to make this video so long, so we're gonna go on with Jasmine Guillory, Drunk on Love. Y'all, let me tell you, this is about Margot and Luke. And Margot owns like a winery with her brother, and Luke was just burnt out from his tech job and wanted to move back to Napa, Silicon Valley, and so that's what he did. And he started working at Luke finds himself working for Margot in at the winery, y'all. So I really, really love this book as well. It was so, romance is just my thing. And when I get a good romance book, it's just hard for me to put down. I want to read more, all of that. It was just a good dynamics between Luke and Margot. It really was. But they had to overcome a lot of obstacles, right? That Margot had in her life. And then Luke was trying to find his place really in a job that really didn't care about him. He was just tired, so he left. But their love story and their dynamics was really cute to me. And because he was working at the winery, Margot didn't want a relationship with him because that was like a boss supervisor to a worker relationship, and she didn't want that. So y'all know how it all ends. This is a good book. So that's all I want to say. This is a good book. Get this book. If you read these books, please let me know. So the next book is by Annabelle Mahogan. I think that's how Monahan. I think that's how you say her name. But this is a summer romance. So I love the cover as well. It does remind me of Just for the Summer. But this book right here, Allie Morrison, she is a professional organizer. And Ethan, and I had to remember what it was about because I read this so long ago, but I remember this. Okay, so Allie's mother passed away. She was married. She got a divorce from her husband. Allie just was going through a whole lot, depression, of losing her mom. And then a year later, her husband leaves her, and just put her through the ringer a little bit. But Ethan was there. How they met was because of a dog. And I love that connection because Allie's dog pees on Ethan's shoes. So that's how they actually met. And it was just a love connection, but the love connection came through that dog. And I love this. So this is a book that it's just a really good summer read as well, but it's awesome. The next book is by Rashonda Tate Billingsley, and this is Miss Pearly Girls. So this is a really good book, y'all. This book really opened my eyes a lot because we carry so many secrets in families that it can hurt us. Where sisters, mothers, children are not talking to each other because they don't want to face and they can accept certain things, and without talking to each other, to effective communication is really the key. And this book talks about all of that dynamics of this book honestly reminds me a little bit of Soul Food with the sisters. And so I have two sisters as well, but this is dealing with four sisters. And the mother saw something as well. And remember in Soul Food when the mother got her legs amputated, and if you've seen that movie, and the mother knew something wasn't right in the family, and she basically tells the son of one of the daughters that you need to make it right. And how they will make it right on Soul Food was eating. And so with this book right here, to make everything right is to tell the truth of what happened and the things that each sister was holding on to that the other sisters didn't really know happened to them, or why, one of them didn't get into college, why one felt the way they felt. So it was really a good read. Honestly, I love this book. It was just an eye opener, and you wonder why families are the way they are is because we hold too many secrets. But very good read. So the next book I wanted to talk about is my favorite author. I wanted to go ahead and get into my favorite author, which is Brittany Cherry. This is The Problem with Players. Now, this is part of a series, y'all. I did not know. The first book is called The Problem with Dating. I did not read this book yet. I just got this book probably a week ago. But I did a whole video on this book. I will link it down below because this book meant so much to me. When I tell you Brittany Cherry always bring it with her books, I really could have given you more books by Brittany Cherry that I loved, but I wanted to definitely bring out this one. It was about Nathan Pierce, and I'm trying to think of the lady's name. He was a ex-baseball player, but it was just the dynamics of this book. Avery is the girl's name, but it was just so heartfelt. I got so many different emotions off of this book, y'all. I really did. And I will link that video so y'all can really go back and just check that out. But this is a must read. Now, I don't know about the very first book. I haven't read that yet, but I will do a video on that once I get to that book. But my second person favorite author, which really is tied, is Kennedy Ryan. When I tell you Before I Let Go, it's one of my favorite books. It's the very first book in the series, y'all. This is about healing, about joys of life, and also about recovery, y'all. And I tell you, I fell in love with this book and with Kennedy Ryan after reading this book, and I've been reading some of her books. I try to read it every month, one of her books. You know, I'm going backwards because I just started this journey. And also, Before I Let Go is about, like I said, Yasmin and Josiah. You know, a second chance of love. And I love how they come together. I love the fact that when Josiah really didn't want to go to therapy, and what made him go was something that happened in the book. And the recovery, the healing, and all of that was just amazing to me. Even I wish I could have did the second book as well with you, but I would tell you the second book was amazing as well. I just wanted to really just discuss this one right here. But y'all, this is one for the books. Even her second one was one for the books, to be honest with you. Now, I want to talk about Emily Henry. This is my very first book by her. I know some people have read Happy Place. I haven't. I need to get that book as well because this book right here was funny, but it was a good one. But the funny story is, it's in the cover. If you read the cover, yo, it was just so funny because it's about Daphne, and Daphne was engaged, right? And so she moves in with, the funny thing is that I cannot remember like the people in the book because I've read it and I've been reading so many different books, y'all. But her fiance is Peter. So Peter has his best friend, which is a girl. And she's dating a guy, right? And Peter decides that he was in love with his best friend. And just decide to leave Daphne. I'm like, what the heck? So Petra is the best friend of Peter. Peter was Daphne's fiance. So Petra is dating this guy named Miles. What is so interesting, Miles and Daphne become roommates because Daphne didn't have anywhere to go because she was living with Peter in his home. So she had to take everything out, whatever. But the funny story is interesting how you think that you want something, you're fascinated with something, you think that you want to be with your best friend, and ended up really that's not who you need to be with. But the thing is that I love about this is the dynamics between Miles and Daphne. Miles was really one of those people that was closed in. He didn't want to talk. But Daphne really brought out something in Miles that made him open up more about his feelings and all of that. And I love that for him, because sometimes we don't want to open up to say how we feel about certain things. But because Daphne was so hurt over men, she kind of overreacted a little bit. But in the end, when I tell you the funny story was a well-written book, it was just so romantic, so heartfelt. I love this book. Very good. So my next author is Christina Forest, The Neighbor Favor. Y'all, I love it. So The Neighbor Favor is really a good book. It's a story about Lily who writes to her favorite author, which ended up becoming Nick. And they were back and forth writing each other. And after a while, Nick kind of ghosted her for a long time. And throughout the book, you kind of was wondering why he did that. And then it comes to find out the reason why he kind of ghosted her and all of that. But honestly, this is a heartfelt, charming book that you would just melt in your heart over. And I really thought this was entertaining. I really thought this was a really good book. But it was just a really good love story. Ended up being a really good love story. But the plot and everything moving forward was really good, how they all tied everything together. But you go and grab this book because you will fall in love with these characters. The last book is Curvy Girl Summer. I love this book from the beginning to the end. It's about Aaliyah, and the other person is Hamed. Yo, oh my gosh. I didn't like the fact that because she was a curvy girl, how her uncle did her and how her family did her. You know, when people are like heavy set, everything is always based on weight. Everything is always based on weight. Like, if you're heavier or curvier, then, you know, there's an issue. Like, you can't find a man and all of that. Or you don't look as good as when you were skinny or whatever. And I love that Aaliyah was so confident in herself. Confident in the way she looked. She didn't compromise who she was. She owned her curves, and I love this. And Hamed was a bartender, and she went into his restaurant where he bartended, and he was trying to hook her up on dates and try to, tell her what she needed to do and how she needed to be and if the person was for her and everything. But y'all, when I tell you this book is good, it's a really good book that you should read. It was also about two people who lost something in their lives. Aaliyah lost her sister, Hamed lost his best friend, but because of who they were begin to heal together, and that was the most important thing, and that's what I loved about this book. But also, Aaliyah really wanted to find a date for her or a boyfriend before her 30th birthday. But what ended up happening, like the transition to what she felt in the beginning of the book to how she felt when she turned 30 was amazing to me. I love what happened to her. I was just so happy that she really came into her own. And I love this story. I really did. I love the story of Hamed and Aaliyah. Really a good book. So I have talked about 10 books that I really loved, 10 different authors, y'all. If y'all have read any of these books, let me know in the comments and let me know what you thought about them. If you really thought that the books were interesting, I would love to hear your thoughts as well. So y'all, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you have clicked on this video just to see my 10 different authors of 10 different great books that I've read over the course of, oh gosh, how many months? 9 months. But thank y'all so much, and I will see y'all on my next video. Bye, stars.